So in our last video we kind of went through textual tags, and now what we are going to be trying is grouping of text and learning some standard attributes. So what I've understood about grouping text, it's making sure that your paragraphs or your headings are not like segregated but part of a particular section. So you need to use div and span. Standard attributes are, descriptions of these tags that you give inside these. So let me show you how you do that. Something that will skip that I really didn't particularly understand is data attributes. Um, Style also, I think it's more part of a CSS project, so I'll skip that. What we'll cover is div, span, id and class, and then hopefully data attributes and style will learn at a later time, right? So yeah, let's go back to our page. So if I go here, you can see that it's a bit of a unstructured page where I'm trying out different things. So we'll erase all of this, and we will try again and create something more structured. Let's say we are going to make a page about let's make a page about rabbits, right? Why rabbits are cool, right? So again, I'm going to use my doc type HTML to declare that it's an HTML file. I'll create HTML and slash HTML. Then I'll create the head, and we will title this as uh, cool rabbits, right? I'm not giving any meta descriptions at the moment, or actually we can just do that. Meta, I forgot how to use meta tags, so again I'll just go to MDN docs, I'll search for meta. So again, this is how I work with things, right? So yeah, if you have to give a description, you give it through this. It's a self-closing tag. Meta name is equals to description, and then we have to give some content. This page is about telling the world why rabbits are cool, right? And it's a self-closing tag. So yeah, that is done. Now we'll give it a body, right? And in the body itself, we are going to first give a heading. Let's say, what are rabbits? And we are going to give a paragraph. Rabbits are cool, fluffy, ball-like creatures that hop around and have fun and are very, very cute, right? Then I'm going to create a h2 tag and say why I think rabbits are cool. Because they seem to be outlandish, they do not care about the world, they love to be in their own space and live, right? And then I'll give a break to this, and I will say they also love veggies, particularly carrots. I'll wrap this text. They the popular Looney Tunes character Bugs Bunny is also a rabbit, and I love Bugs Bunny. Okay, so we have done this, and I am going to give another h2. uh, what do I like about rabbits? I'm gonna say P. um, Everything P. um, the long ears P. The little nose, red nose P. Their scary blank eyes. The hoppy legs, hoppy feet, and obsession with carrots. Yep, I think that does the job for now. We will add some HR tags as well, so that we have a clear differentiation of things, right? And we'll save it. Now if I go to this page, I'll copy the path and I go to this page. So we have this page, we have an h1 tag, but like for later we want to know that what section is what, right? So for example, this particular section, right, this particular section is basically our heading text, or the main heading text. So you want to tell the world that this is our main heading, and you can write anything here, and we are going to, you know, place all this except the HR tag. I'll put the HR tag below the div. So we are saying to the world that this particular section is the main heading. Technically this doesn't change anything in the front end. The front end remains the same, no change here, right? So we are going to also tell the world that this is a description text, right? And same here, div class equals description text. Right, so we have told the world that there's a main heading and there's two paragraphs that uh, are basically description texts, but we also need to identify between actually I have written it as class, I'll write it as class. So let's say if there are two description texts and I need to identify which particular description text I am talking about, so I need to give something more specific. So I'll give it an ID. I'll call it DSC text 1 just to keep it short, and I'll give this ID is equal to DSC text 2. Note that this doesn't mean anything in terms of front end. It's just basically ways to identify what section means what, right? So we are going to we are basically telling that there's a main heading which is one heading and one paragraph. Then there is a horizontal line, Then there is a description text. Then there's two description texts. One of them is DESC text 1, the other one is DESC text 2, and each of them has a heading of level 2 and some paragraphs, right? So yeah, that's it. That's how we group, some specific sections of texts, and how we tell the world that there is what they are through classes and IDs, right? So I'm going to mark that, oh yeah, we have to do a span. So the span section is basically saying that, let's say, for this particular section, why I think rabbits are cool, and I want only this specific rabbits to be identified. So I'm going to say span, and I am going to put rabbits are cool into this span. So within this heading we are saying that this span is cover in this particular sentence, the span is covering just the rabbits are cool, right? And I am going to put this into a class called highlight, right? Because I'll try my best to style this in a very different way later on. So let's say I want to highlight this as well, span, and I am going to put like about rabbits inside this, right? And I'll give it a class highlight. Again, front end wise, there's absolutely no change in the website. Doesn't show anything new, but that's how you use it. In fact, let's just go to span and see if there is some additional information what that means. So the span HTML is a generic inline container for phrasing content which does not inherently represent anything. It can be used to group elements for styling purposes. So we'll use span for styling later on using the class or ID attributes. So we have given our span a class right now, or because the share attribute value such as lang. It should be used only when no other semantic element is appropriate. So we are only using the span when we know, like in this particular heading, I just want to style these phrases, and we'll style them later on. But because I needed to group them in a separate way, that's why I put them inside a span, right? So we'll come to this later. For now, we have covered the topics div, we have covered span. So basically our grouping text is done, ID is done, and class is also done, right? Data attributes and styles will come to later on. In our next video we are going to explore what the table tag is. We are going to go for lists and types, and we'll go how to create ordered lists, unordered lists, definition lists, and nested lists, right? I think that will be an interesting video. So yeah, see you in the next one.